Hi everybody. I'm going to do a short video. I don't know how short it's going to be, but be getting a lot of comments and PMs on how the snowblower setup went together on my John Deere. Timing could not be perfect because I just finished working on it, and as you can see, we've woken up this morning to our first dusting of snow, and close that door because, as we know, there's a lot more where that came from. So let's talk about what we did. Originally, the original video I did was when I mounted a snowblower on the tractor to make it easier for my wife to do the driveway when I'm away. That went on that 120, and it was basically a work in progress. It did work, but since then, hey, year later, look where we're at. So I mounted it on my 160. I used this last year, and it worked great, and I've made some modifications. And I'm going to explain what those are. First of all, I've basically abandoned this idea of this tilting bush bar, if you will, or winch mount, and I've gone with a solid system. This actually now permanently stays with the tractor for a couple of reasons. In the wintertime, I mount the snowblower, and in the summertime, I've made myself a bucket that replaces my wheelbarrow. And if you're interested, I'll post a video on that because that was a really, really fun project. But let's get back to how this worked, because that was one of the questions about mounting this winch. First of all, we talk about the winch. It's a basic winch. I think I picked this up at Canadian Tire like 2-3 years ago on sale, 69 bucks. It comes with the winch. It comes with the solenoid. It comes with the switch. It comes with the relays, everything, all plug and play. Thing worked great. Second thing that I did was I replaced the wire rope with a strap, and that seems to dispense or disperse the weight of that a lot better. It doesn't get frayed or anything, so that worked out great. And as I mentioned, I've replaced with a new system for the mount. So the mount is now made out of 1-inch box steel. You can see that. Basically what I did was I took my measurements that I needed of this. I cut 45s out of this, out of the straight piece, bent them over, and tack welded them together to make a solid structure. Then I took this is what's left of a king-size bed. This is a bed rail. I took the bed rail. As you can see, I cut that to length. I mounted that up on top of it, tacked it. I added a 4-inch flat bar to make up the space so that I had holes that I could drill for the winch mount. And that's it. Just 2 bolts hold that winch on there. But that's solid. One of the things that I ran into was when I built this for the that loader, this was much lower, and it worked out great for the loader. But when I attached the snowblower, the winch was basically right up against here. It was way too close, so I had to move it up basically and back. And the way I did that was I took that box steel again. You can see, can't really tell, there's a nice clean cut there, but that's a separate piece with a separate mount that I put together out of the box steel, which is down here. And then I came up with this idea. I used this threaded rod, and that threaded rod basically sits in there. So unlike the other tractor that needed all kinds of maintenance because of its age and replacement and filling up with oil, I never had to lift the cowling on this once last year. So I went to go with a more permanent idea, but if I ever do have to take it off or open the cowling, I can disconnect the winch with the Anderson connector and all these quick connects that are there, and I can actually just lift this out of place. So if you're going to do one of these systems, you got to have a solid bar, and that's what we start with. As far as the winch is concerned, once you get it mounted and wired and functioning and have your snowblower mounted, you might find that the snowblower isn't rising and lowering evenly at all. It might be tilted, and that's due to the center of gravity. So what I've done is I've got myself a shackle, you can see down here, that it's a quick release as well for the strap, so it comes off nice and easy. I used I think it's a 1-inch or a 3/4 inch, I think it's a piece of gas line actually, a solid steel gas line that I've cut off to give myself lots of room inside there. And then once I found the center of gravity, where it needed to sit and rest, I put a couple of hose clamps on that bar, and that just keeps it centered. So it comes up and down, no problem. Go over the system operation here. So up and down. It's a little loud, but when the engine's running, you don't know. We already talked about the 4-way switch. There's a separate video on that. I added a horn, and these are my lights, and the lights are great. So, whoa, out of focus now, but I may add a couple of amber flashers to this, like I did on my Argo for nighttime, because I notice in the back here it's rather dark when you're moving around. Added the weights, added my trailer hitch, because I use that to move the Sea-Doos around, or my utility trailer around, so I don't have to hook the truck up to move stuff around. Just drilled the 5/8 hole, whatever it was, 3/4 of an inch with my step drill, and mounted that. And yeah, that's basically it. Some of the other mods that I did to this since last time was I replaced that screw jack you may have seen. I've replaced that with a linear actuator. Screw jack worked great, but it was just a little bit slow for my liking, and I couldn't find a coarser thread to speed it up. So Amazon, boom, there you go. And I also, you may have seen already, I had this, I guess this worm drive motor from Princess Auto. You can pick that up for like $9.99. They come on sale. There's another one there as a spare. And I cut off the threaded rod right here and made up a little union so that I can attach that. And that's what the original will look like on your John Deere. So there's some of the pieces that I've used. The flat bar, the chair rail or the bed rail, the rods, the box steel. And that's it. And we are ready for winter. And the machine, like I said, exceeds expectations. Painted this, looks super cool, but super practical. And like I said, all the wiring, all the stuff you can find on YouTube or through the instructions are pretty straightforward. So anyway, I hope that, like I said, picture's worth 1,000 words. And I hope that was helpful, and enjoy the winter.